Alright guys, hopefully you can begin to hear me. I'm gonna kick off the radio broadcast here.
About the 1 October shooting, and the search continues for a casino robber. First though, traffic and weather together on this Wednesday afternoon. Here's Izzy J.
Test
Live
check.
from the Finley Toyota Traffic Center, we have a crash southbound on the 95 at the Durango off-ramp. Continuing south on the 95, crash approaching Rainbow. In Henderson, seeing an accident at St. Rose Parkway and Paseo Verde Parkway. You want to also watch for an injury collision at Decatur.
94 Summerlin and 98 right now Las Vegas. Metro Police releasing more officer body camera video showing rifle-toting officers taking positions in empty casinos, searching hotel rooms, and directing tourists away from the scene of the 1 October shooting. An officer in one of the 34 clips, which was made public today under a court order, advises pedestrians that most of the strip is closed due to an active shooter at Mandalay Bay. Law enforcement authorities are looking for an armed man who robbed a casino on the strip.
Las Vegas police say no one was injured when a man robbed the casino cage Wednesday. MGM Resorts International confirmed the robbery took place at the Excalibur. Police say the man took off with an undisclosed amount of money and left the area in an unknown direction. MGM says it's working with police as they investigate the robbery. Tony Valdez, KXNT News.
Land management agencies are lifting fire restrictions in southern Nevada.
Officials made the announcement yesterday. It applies to federal lands managed by the BLM, Bureau of Reclamation, Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Park Service. The Mount Charleston Fire Protection District also is included. BLM Fire Management Officer Jeff Wallen says the agencies are asking visitors to be safe with ignition sources because vegetation remains dry from hot summer temperatures. The fire restrictions had been in place since early May, prohibiting campfires, charcoal stoves, fireworks, and off-road vehicles without a spark arrestor. Mark Thomas, News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
It was a tough day for students, you had to imagine, faculty, and even parents at Canyon Springs High School today after an after-school shooting left a teen dead yesterday. The school added extra protection across the campus. There was also grief counselors available.
And the coach said to go inside, so then we all started running and calling our parents.
Overnight, Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara released a statement giving his condolences to the family of the man who was killed. KXNT News time is 3:05. The Alan Stock Show is straight ahead. I'm Fred Halstead, KXNT News.
Live from the entertainment capital of the world, it's Southern Nevada's voice of common sense. Welcome to the Alan Stock Show.
I'm having some issues showing the chat window, guys. I'm just trying to work through that. Now, also not sure exactly when Lombardo is going to be on here, so just a heads up.
Guess what day it is?
It's hump day.
All right, 3:06 here at KXNT. And good afternoon. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday hump day afternoon as we broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. Come on out and say hello. Got some great guests today. Got some great drawings, all kinds of things happening. And, of course, I've got Tim Brooks out here, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, also my co-host out here. Thanks so much for having us out here.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm here live and in person, and we're going to have a great show today. Some very special guests, and one sitting right next to me now, and we'll get to that in just a minute.
We've got a lot going on today. First of all, we are at the Emerald Island Casino. Some great food specials going on today as well. Quickly, I'll tell you about that.
It's barbecue night, so you know what that means. All the good barbecue stuff at great prices. The full, the world champion, all 5 meats, ribs, brisket, chicken, pulled pork, hot links. $9.99, the full Monty, if you will, and of course our dollar draft beer specials, premium drafts.
You have to wash it down with something. Absolutely,
that's what they say. Yeah,
that's what they absolutely say. By the way, let me also remind you, we've got tickets to give away today to Santana, an intimate evening of Santana Greatest Hits Live, and that's for the September 22nd show. We're going to be giving those away at 5:19 this afternoon. Also, we have movie passes to give away today, a 4-pack of tickets to the advanced screening of The House with a Clock in its walls.
Nice.
Got it? Yeah. That's on Tuesday, September 18th, the Regal Red Rock. We'll give those away coming up at 4:32. So we're all set for that.
And we're giving away an Amazon Echo down here at Emerald Island. Echo. It's
yeah.
Awesome.
That is cool. That is very, very
so
cool.
Come on down, register to win. We're going to pull that around 5:40, 5:50, somewhere around there.
Of course, Mark Bonilla, big producer extraordinaire,
so huge.
Joining me out here, big, huge. We got a lot of folks out here. Come on down. We got a lot of giveaways, too. What is this again? What was this again? Tell me this real quickly. Sunscreen on one end and chapstick on another.
Nice. It's a combo deal.
It's 2 for 1. It's a 2 for.
I love it.
All right, that's very, very cool. Plus, we got a lot of great food out here as well. This afternoon, give you a quick rundown of what's going on today. In a moment, we'll be talking to Wes Duncan. He is the candidate for Nevada's Attorney General. We'll talk to him about a lot of issues. We've got Joe Lombardo, Clark County Sheriff, joining us out here at 4 o'clock. And then at 5 this afternoon, we've got a ton of people coming in from the new Gold Mine Tavern that's been redone. Samantha Bonville, from the new Hardway 8, Bryant, Jane, and Lyle be coming in. And also Chef Fleming making his return appearance here. And our fingers, of course, on the little sensor thing. So, I'm just saying, once upon a time we had the... that was that. Yeah. So we've got all that going on. But right now, before we do anything at all, let's say good afternoon to, he is right now the candidate for the Attorney General for the state of Nevada, and that is Wes Duncan. And thank you so much for coming out here. We really do appreciate it.
Al and Tim, it's great to be with you guys. Thanks.
It's great having you out here. A lot to talk about. If you want to join in at any point, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. So let me start off this way because this is one of the most important issues I think I could talk about, and that is, I know you've traveled throughout Nevada and you've talked to a lot of law enforcement officials, a lot of priorities that they have on issues about patrolling neighborhoods and everything. What do you hear most from these officers? Their biggest concerns, their biggest needs?
Number one issue, and we've sat down with every law enforcement officer across the state, number one issue in the state, mental health.
Really?
Bar none. Every sheriff, every chief of police, even district attorneys across the state say that we need to get a hold of this deficit in mental health resources because essentially our law enforcement now is acting not only as social workers, but they're mental health providers and they're keeping you safe out on the streets. And so all of those responsibilities are becoming very burdensome to our law enforcement. So, there are folks that find themselves in the revolving door of the criminal justice system continually because of mental health issues. And so one of the main platforms and something that I'm passionate about and have been talking about in this campaign is to try to address mental health in the state. And I think we've got some good plans about how to do it.
All right. I want you to give me an idea of a couple of things you want to do, because I don't disagree with you. I've seen people on the streets talking to themselves, swearing, and things like that. We have people that have definite mental health issues that are out and about. So I'm agreeing with you 100%. Give me one or two ideas what you would do as AG to be able to deal with it.
Sure. So what we need right now is something that's called a diversion. Most people who find themselves with a mental illness and they find themselves having an interaction with law enforcement, they're taken to one or two places. They're taken to a regular emergency room where emergency room staff are not equipped to be able to handle mental health issues, or they're taken to jail. And so what we need in our state is what's called a diversion, a psychiatric ER that's more of a triage place where people can go. They can either be stabilized within a certain amount of time, or they can be placed in an inpatient situation. And that's going to take a huge burden off of law enforcement. We have one psychiatric ER in the state, and that's up in Carson City.
Ooh.
And it's called the Mallory Center. And Sheriff Furlong, the sheriff who's a great sheriff up there, has endorsed us in this race. He is working with Carson Tahoe Health, and they are seeing their mental health cases and the interaction with mental health patients declining in a great way there, because they're working cooperatively with that. So that's an important element of it. It's also important to have what are these called MOST teams, mobile outreach safety teams. They're mental health workers, social workers that work collaboratively with law enforcement. They try to be proactive and intervene early for people that are finding themselves in the revolving door of the criminal justice system.
I'm agreeing with you on that. What we also need, though, are facilities to be able to house these people. I know the judicial rulings that came down in the 80s, actually the 70s, I'm not mistaken, when Reagan was governor of California. People blamed him for throwing the people who are mentally have mental issues out in the street. It was the courts that made that decision. But we've got to be able to have facilities to be able to house these people, to treat them on a long-term basis so they can either get well or be integrated to some other level in society. And unfortunately, that's not being done right now.
Sure. I mean, inpatient services are key to this. Look, the issues that stem from problems with mental health go back to the 1950s. You had 500,000 people that were in mental institutions in this country, and then now there's only about 25,000. And so people have shifted from mental institutions, and now the criminal justice system is the main place where mental health is dealt with.
Wes Duncan is the candidate for the Attorney General of the state of Nevada. You want to join in? 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Tim Brooks out here as our host, and of course my co-host of the show, but the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. We're going to come on back in a moment, take some calls at 733-KXNT, 733-5968. But in the bottom line, come on down. Say hello to Wes Duncan yourself. Say hi to Tim Brooks. Shake our hand. We'd love to meet you. We got these free things to give away and all kinds of things happening this afternoon. So do stick around. Big show ahead, and we're only getting started. I'm Alan Stock, and this is News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
The news you want to know.
This hurricane is going to produce torrential rainfall.
Measured in feet, not inches. Tremendously big and tremendously wet.
The news.
Nothing like you've ever seen.
You need to know.
It's a big one.
Stay in the know.
Totally prepared, ready.
This.
Get out of its way.
Is News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
Nevada businesses have been through some tough times, and we've been right here with you through thick and thin, helping self-insured groups get the best workers' comp programs, affordable coverage that meets your needs, and a company that stands by you all the way. From helping establish safety programs to conducting inspections, we are here when you need us. Pro Group Management is the national award-winning team you can trust to stay with you. After all, we've been here with you for over 20 years, through good economic times and bad. Find out how to have Pro Group Management work for you. Visit our website at pgmnv.com to receive a free cost savings analysis now. That's pgmnv.com. Or call our Las Vegas office at 702-740-4380. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Warning. Over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Get to know Mr. Fred Rogers and take an intimate look at America's favorite neighbor in the touching and uplifting documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor? Available now on Blu-ray, DVD, digital, and the all-new digital movie app, Movies Anywhere. Hailed by critics as moving and illuminating and a funny, touching, and vital documentary. This heartwarming film reminds viewers of all ages about the universal kindness and empathy Mr. Rogers radiated on American television screens. Own it now on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital from Universal Pictures Home Entertainment. Register to win at KXNT.com.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Ready for some good news? Life insurance is more affordable than you think. Ready for some even better news? Your coverage can start today. An eFinancial agent is ready to help you select the right policy from the most trusted life insurance companies. And it's all done over the phone. One call, and you're on the way to the protection your family needs. Call 1-866-244-5580 to get covered today, or get a quote at efinancial.com.
KXNT Traffic.
Live from the Findlay Toyota Traffic Center, this report is sponsored by Palace Station. We have a crash taken up the right lane at Lake Mead, southbound on the 95, injury wreck at Decatur and Vegas Drive. Also keep in mind the 15 will close from Sahara to Spring Mountain beginning tonight at 11 until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Sammy Davis and Valley View are good alternates. Get your tickets now for the infectious feel-good music of Casey and the Sunshine Band this Saturday at the Palace Station event grounds. Casey and the Sunshine Band plus special guests The Village People at Palace Station this Saturday. Get tickets at any Station Casinos Reward Center. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM KXNT Traffic.
You're listening to The Alan Stock Show on KXNT.
Welcome back to the studio.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate that very much. 3:19 here at KXND. Great to have you with us. It's great to be back. It was off for a couple of days for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. But to come back and to be out here at the Emerald Island Casino, it's like going home again. I know I've said that before, but it's absolutely true. Very, very much. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, our co-host out here. Thank you so much for having us out.
Thank you. I got to ask a favor, Mark. Can you contact the president and have him say welcome to back to the makeshift studio at the Emerald Island Casino?
Oh, well, that's between you and Sandy.
Tim, I'll make that happen. Don't worry about it.
The makeshift studio here at the Emerald Island Casino. Absolutely.
It'll be so bigly. You'll be so happy with it.
Huge. Wes Duncan, the candidate for the Attorney General of the state of Nevada, joining us out here in our makeshift studio. Thank you for being out here.
Hey, pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it very, very much. Got so much to get to, and I got so many calls coming in. Let's quick calls with quick questions, and let's start. No, because I want to get. I got more things I want to get to, and I'm going to be selfish today. Let's start out with Kate. Kate, you're on KXNT. A quick question for Wes Duncan, please.
Yeah, if elected, will you enforce the voter-requested background checks and work to enforce common-sense gun laws, especially in the wake of a teen being shot at a Clark County school yesterday and a month before October 1st?
Thank you very much for your call. We appreciate it very, very much. Wes Duncan.
Kate, yeah, thanks for the call. Look, our hearts go out to the parents and the family of that shooting victim. The state attorney general's job is to enforce the laws on the
books. How about that?
And so I've told people that, when I deployed to Iraq and I saw a country up close and personal where the rule of law had completely broken down, you just appreciate our country and the rule of law. And so I've told people that the Attorney General will enforce the laws on the books, whether you agree or you disagree with them.
Well, and to that end, let me just say, because a lot of people have been critical of your former boss, Adam Laxalt, and our Governor Sandoval. They said they didn't try to adequately enforce question 1, and yet, as we know by a judicial decision about 3 weeks ago approximately, they did everything they could because that question was poorly written, or it was written intentionally maybe to mislead people. They didn't want to have people have to pay more money, and they didn't want people to think they're going to be paying more in taxes. So what they decided to do was say that we're going to get the FBI to do this background investigation. They didn't ask the FBI, and then when it came out that it passed by a very slim margin, the FBI said we wouldn't do it. And then there are people out there, I don't know about the last call, but people out there who are saying, well, you should have done it anyway. How in the hell do you do it anyway when a provision of that question says we're not going to be part of it?
Well, we're what's called a point of contact state, and this is as one of 13 states in the union as a point of contact state. The initiative petition, as it was written, our state, because of that status, is not allowed to do a NICS FBI background check solely for private-to-private transfers. And so the state could do 1, 2, 3 things. First of all, it could say we're not a point of contact state anymore. The state legislature in 2017 could have taken that issue up and stripped our point of contact status. Then the background check could have been implemented. Or they could lobby federal representatives to change the rules and regulations at the federal level to say that because of our point of contact status, the FBI is allowed to do these checks. But the way that the federal government regulations are in place, they do not allow a state like ours as a point of contact state to do those types of checks. And so you're left in a legal limbo. Brian Sandoval, Adam Laxalt continually asked if the FBI would do these checks, and they said they would not do it.
We also know that the state of Nevada does more thorough background checks, I believe, than the FBI and the rest of the feds do. So they could have had their cake and eat it too. It would have cost money to have those background checks by the state. They didn't want to have it to seem like we're raising taxes, so they decided to have the FBI, which, again, they did not even check with before they put that on the ballot.
The initiative petition should have said that the central repository is to do these checks. If the initiative petition said that, then the checks would be in place. Bottom line, we want people to be safe. We want people to exercise their rights responsibly, and that's where we find ourselves in that legal limbo.
So, quick question: if you're the Attorney General, what will you do to make sure that people that have mental illness backgrounds or are have problems with domestic abuse and things like that, that they are not able to legally purchase a gun?
Well, one thing you have to do as the state's top law enforcement officer is to ensure that all of the local jurisdictions, courts, district attorneys' offices, police departments are properly reporting to our state's central repository all of the records so they can get into the repository so that when you run a check on someone, they're getting flagged. And that's absolutely important to do that. We see gaps across the country where jurisdictions haven't entered information into background check systems. So as the state's Attorney General, I will ensure that we're entering all that information into our central repository.
That problem you're talking about arose with the shooter in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes.
Not in San Antonio, Santa Fe, Texas. That occurred where all the information was not entered into the database.
He was in the Air Force.
That is correct.
And I was in the Santa Fe. It was the church shooting. He was in the Air Force. That conviction was not reported to the FBI.
Correct.
And he should have never been able to purchase a gun.
I think what people are frustrated about, and I get it, is the fact that today we have had the 5th student that we know of who's brought a loaded firearm onto campus, a loaded 9mm, that we know of. How many got away with it before that we don't know? I don't know the answer. But we know 5 kids have been caught with guns on campus since the beginning of the year, about 3 weeks ago, school year, about 3 weeks ago. We know there was a shooting, as the caller mentioned, a fatal shooting yesterday in North Las Vegas. And this is where a lot of people are frustrated. the issue of question 1 or of gun control, as I see it, is not going to answer this question. As the Attorney General, what would you do to address the issue of school safety?
Well, it goes back to mental health, and also I will say this, as we've traveled the state, you see schools across our great state using school resource officers in innovative ways. In Elko County, for example, the Elko Police Department uses school resource officers on the ground. They're almost operating like beat cops, and they are allowing students to get to know. They're on the ground. They're mentoring them. They're flagging issues, and they're really on the ground doing innovative things. And so you've got to integrate law enforcement into that. And then mental health, I think, is the key to unraveling this and solving a lot of these problems. You've got to solve the mental health problem.
The other issue to me has always been also the fact that you have one entrance, one exit to the school, and if that means additional dollars to be able to create fences around the school that will prevent people from coming in, we've got to initiate that. I can't believe we started the school year this year without making sure every single public school system is safe in the state. I'm blown away by that. All right, Wes Duncan joining us out here at our makeshift studio in the Emerald Island Casino. I'm just saying. And I've got Tim Brooks out here, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, my co-host as well. We've got a lot of callers coming on the phone. I want to get to your calls in just a moment. I'm Alan Stock, Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson, right here on Newstalk 840 AM, KXNT.
The Alan Stock Show is brought to you by Bite of Las Vegas, this Saturday at Desert Breeze Park. For tickets, visit KXNT.com.
You sit and wait.
Come on.
If you could just move one foot.
Just one.
Then you realize you're trapped. Wrong. Traffic updates and alternate routes set you free.
I'm free.
On News Talk 840 AM, KXNT.
Being an entrepreneur means you'll need to be a jack of all trades. Here's just a few rules every founder will face when starting up. I'm Alex Worley with a Business Rockstars Minute. Number 1, the planner. Take an active role in mapping out the business for the present, the immediate future, and the long term. This calls for openness to criticism, particularly when things don't go according to plan. Number 2, the decision maker. Everything stops with you. Get comfortable evaluating options, weighing potentials, and making the tough calls. The more proactive your mindset, the more likely you are to make the right move. Number 3, the responder. Seeking out constructive criticism helps you hone in on success. Ask others what's wrong. Your role as responder depends on your skills as a listener. I'm Alex Worley, and this has been a Business Rockstars Minute.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the
sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Warning, over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
KXNT News Time is 3:30. I'm Fred Halstead. Coming up, thousands continue to evacuate to dodge the path of Hurricane Florence, and angry demonstrators interrupted a Dallas City Council meeting. First, traffic and weather together. Here's Izzy J.
Live from the Findlay Toyota Traffic Center, this report is sponsored by Accountemps, a Robert Half company. Still looks like we have a crash southbound on the 95 at Lake Mead, taking up the right lane. Injury crash at Decatur and Vegas Drive. Another accident at Desert Inn and Fort Apache. And you want to expect a slow drive as you're traveling north on the 15 from Flamingo to Charleston. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM KXNT Traffic.
106 Laughlin, 98 at McCarran, and 98 right now Las Vegas. Hundreds of thousands continue to evacuate coastal areas as Hurricane Florence approaches the southeastern U.S. The National Hurricane Center says Florence has weakened slightly. It's now a Cat 3 storm with peak winds of 120 miles per hour. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
The forecast tells us that Florence's storm surge will drown many homes. Expert modeling here at North Carolina Emergency Management shows that storm surge alone is likely to flood tens of thousands of structures. A storm doesn't have to make landfall in North Carolina to do serious damage here.
Angry demonstrators interrupted a Dallas City Council meeting to protest the shooting of a black man by a white police officer who says she mistook his apartment for hers.
Dozens of demonstrators demanded that the city council establish a civilian oversight board to review police conduct. After only a few speakers, the hall erupted into chants. Once order was established, speakers continued to demand the city council do more.
We have had this tragedy in our community, and we come to our elected body to speak truth to power, to ask for consideration, to demand justice.
Many are upset that Officer Amber Geiger has received what they believe to be special treatment and has only been charged with manslaughter and not murder. Austin York for CBS News, Dallas.
A Renoir painting stolen by the Nazis has been restored to the heir of its rightful owner following its looting by the Nazis during World War II. The painting, I won't even try to pronounce the name, will be on display at the Museum of Jewish Heritage in Manhattan until this Sunday. KXNT News Time is 3:32. Remember, download the radio.com app. Listen to KXNT anytime, anywhere. More with Alan Stock straight ahead. I'm Fred Halstead, KXNT News.
eFinancial makes buying life insurance easier thanks to a mix of
technology
and personal service. When you call, our agents listen to learn your needs.
Then utilize our cutting-edge platform to search options from leading companies.
You get the right coverage at the right price thanks to our blend of
advanced computer algorithms and
plain old conversation. Get covered today. Call 1-866-244-5580.
Or visit efinancial.com.
That's efinancial.com.
Warning, over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Stock on KXNT.
All right, it's great to have you with us as we broadcast live from the Lombardo Casino. We'll get back to West Duncan and much more, and your calls in just a moment. First, I want to remind you that a home break-in occurs every 16 seconds in the U.S., and Las Vegas crime rates are high. How can you protect your family? Well, I want to tell you about Security Screen Master Screens. It's the only security system that will guarantee no break-ins. Alarm systems, video cameras cannot physically prevent a break-in, and they'll never guarantee against the break-in. But Security Screen Master Screens produce screens that are made of solid steel. They're an unbreakable physical barrier. That's how they can actually guarantee against a break-in. You can enjoy the fresh, cool nighttime air this fall, each and every night with Security Screen Master screens. Sleep with your windows wide open, and your security screens will keep out any would-be intruders. 100% guaranteed. I've only got so much time to tell you about how great these screens are, so to get a free security inspection of your home and a complimentary demonstration, mention my name, Alan Stock, when you call 550-7848, 550-7848, because trust me, you must see it to believe it. 550-7848, 550-7848, the original Security Screen Masters. It's the only security system that will guarantee no break-ins. The only one. SecurityScreenMasters.com, SecurityScreenMasters.com. Check them out now. You'll be glad you did. Right now, it's 3:35 here at KXNT. Wes Duncan is the candidate for Attorney General of the great state of Nevada out here at the Emerald Island Casino. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, my co-host out here. Thank you so much for having us out here.
Hey, Alan, I look forward to this every month, having you and our great guests come out, and today's extra special with Mr. Duncan here.
It is absolutely, and again, I appreciate it. And again, Wes Duncan, thank you so much for coming out here. Appreciate it. I've got so much to get into, but I want to get some calls in as well. Promise I'd share you with the audience. So with that in mind, let me head on over to Cindy. Cindy, you're on KXNT with Wes Duncan. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy. Hi. Let's go right ahead, Cindy.
My name is Cindy. Okay. I consider myself a very pro-choice voter.
Yeah.
And I know that there's folks here in Nevada that, want to go down the wrong path of chipping away at reproductive rights.
Right.
Adam Laxalt has said that as governor, he'd look into rolling back access to...
Actually, he didn't say. Actually, he didn't say that. Wait, no, stop. Hey, no, stop, Cindy. He didn't say that. I had him on my show here last month out here. He said that was not that's not the case at all. So what you're saying is absolutely false. Goodbye. You're out of here. I'm tired. I can't handle this crap out here when people want to get on the air and they want to lie about stuff. I'm sorry. My tolerance level is 0 for lies. That's all there is to it. The issue of pro-abortion, killing children inside the womb, has been decided. And by the way, just to let you know that the state of Nevada has codified this. Am I correct, Wes Duncan? So no matter what happens to R.V. Wade nationally, it's still the law of the land in Nevada.
Voters in the 90s passed an initiative petition that essentially locks in Roe v. Wade for our state.
All right. That's exactly what I said.
End of story. Case closed.
End of story. So, all this stuff about, we're going to catch them by the short hairs. Get out of here. It's not going to happen. All right, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Barbara, you're on KXNT. Welcome to the show.
Hi. My question is, a majority of Nevadans' lands, which are my ancestral lands, are public, and a majority of Nevadans support keeping it that way. As AG, you would have the power to protect our public lands. What will you do to keep them protected?
All right, thanks for your question this afternoon. Go ahead, Wes Duncan.
So, the public lands issue is important for everyone across the state. And so, in terms of public lands, as everyone knows, 87% of the state of Nevada is federal land. And so where it makes sense for us to work with our federal delegation to work on public lands and to be able to use it productively, the state AG can certainly work with the federal delegation to do those things.
Yeah. Listen, let's just face it also. Over 85% of the land actually is controlled by the federal government. And if we had the chance to get some of that land back and then develop it in order to be able to create jobs for Native Americans and other Americans as well, wouldn't that be a smart thing to do?
Yeah, and there's been a lot of bills. Congressman Amodei, Senator Heller have introduced bills to turn over wilderness areas, for example, across northern Nevada to different communities to be able to cultivate some of the land. And so, I've told people that to take a prudent approach to this and take a look at about where it makes sense to do so.
A lot of these people who don't want development are for no growth. We came from a place in Northern California. You from California. Remember Marin County, California? Now, Marin County, we were in a place called Novato, which was a no-growth area. We just call it Slovado, because by the time you get things done, you're an old person and ready to die. It takes years to get things done there. The idea of not having growth in an area means that the value of that land goes exponentially high, which is great if you own land. But you know what? If your kids are out there, your kids will never live anywhere near you. Your grandkids will never live anywhere near you. We're fortunate. We're here with our kids and our grandkids, by the way, because they could buy land and homes here in Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, in Northern California, the situation is exacerbated because it's a simply supply and demand. There's not much supply. The demand is high, and the prices are extremely high. And so, our state, housing prices right now are high across our state, and, we need to continue to look at what we can do 5, 10, 15 years down the road to continue to make sure Nevada is a place that is affordable for the middle class and to continue to grow as a state.
Let me ask you an important question that a lot of people are thinking about, and an issue that's going to pass overwhelmingly this coming November. And that is the issue of Marsy's Law, Question 1, the Crime Victims' Rights Amendment. Your stance on that?
Well, I support Marsy's Law because I'll tell you, my time as a prosecutor working with victims, it's just bottom line, victims deserve dignity and respect in this state. And so you want to ensure that they're constitutionally protected and they're given the right to know when their attackers and people that assault them are having a hearing and when their sentencing is, and the rights to be able to speak on their behalf and to have knowledge about when those cases are moving forward, when they're released, and all those different things. And so I think it's important that voters know that Marsy's Law, and they support it because victims should be treated with equal dignity and respect.
That was even on the ballot in California, the left coast of the United States, and it passed overwhelmingly by the people of California. You did have every single newspaper editorial except for one, the Eureka, your reporter, all came out against Marsy's Law because they don't care. But the Californians, the people in California, passed Marsy's Law overwhelmingly, and they even consider it important.
Well, I'll just tell you this, Alan, and I talk to groups all across the state, and I ask people, is issues of safety and security, public safety, victims' rights, are those partisan issues? They're not partisan issues. And
Correct.
So you need an attorney general that's going to stand up for everybody in the state, is going to stand up for public safety, and as the state's top law enforcement, you need someone that's got the experience and the background to be able to advocate on behalf of victims and to work collaboratively with law enforcement. We're proud in this campaign. We have 16 sheriff endorsements, 7 chiefs of police, 14 district attorneys, and we have the support of law enforcement because we've listened to them, and people know that I'll have their back, and every day we'll wake up and we'll make sure that this state's a safer place to be.
I understand Joe Lombardo endorsed you also.
He did.
Joe Lombardo will be joining us here in our makeshift studio here at 4 o'clock here at the Emerald Island Casino. And, of course, I've got Tim Brooks with me, owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, and our co-host out here. Again, I appreciate you having us out here. Another issue very important to people is they talk about violence and gun violence and all that kind of stuff, but domestic violence. How would you, as Attorney General of the state of Nevada, address that issue?
So we're the second worst state for men killing women in the nation. This is a statistic that none of us should be proud of, and I will tell you this. There's a domestic violence ombudsperson that's in the Attorney General's office. We've talked about this on the campaign trail. I think there's a few things that we can do. There's accountability measures that need to be done on the criminal justice side of the house. We need to make sure that we're holding defendants accountable. The second thing is a big deal is transitional housing across the state. The State Attorney General's office could work with nonprofits across the state and help use settlement funding to try to, non-taxpayer dollars, to try to get transitional housing. So for women who find themselves in vulnerable, volatile situations, they're able to flee those situations and get into transitional housing. That's an important element. It's also important to have preventative type education. The AG's office from the ombudsperson position can go out and educate communities. We know that with preventative education, batters, treatment, those type of things, the recidivism rate and the rates of incidences of domestic violence go down rapidly. So I've told people I want to be the most proactive Attorney General possible. I want to get to the root causes of crime instead of always reacting to the symptoms. And so if we get proactive, if we get tough on domestic violence abusers. I tell people, if there's a domestic violence situation and you've assaulted a woman with a weapon, you don't get probation. You need to be doing hard time. So we need to be both smart
for you
and hard on hardened criminals.
By the way, congrats. You're the father again for the third time, 22 days ago?
22 days ago. I've got 2 boys, 5 and 4, and as a father, having a daughter is the most amazing thing.
I've got 2. I understand.
Ruth Abigail. We welcomed her in, so it's exciting. And I will tell you, nothing gives you more perspective than the birth of a child. We're invested in this state. I want to make Nevada the safest place we can to raise a family. I want to be able to look my 2 boys in the eye and my baby daughter in the eye someday and say that, when it was 2018 and it was time to step up, I did everything I can to make sure that Nevada's next chapter is a safe one, and we're doing all we can in this campaign to do that.
I think that's well put. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Router of the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. Great food specials going on, drink specials. And again, we've got tickets coming up in the next hour to movie pass to 4 screen tickets to the house with a clock in its walls. I have no idea. But anyway, that's going to be giving tickets away. Well, I said it right. And also, we've got tickets to Santana in the 5 o'clock hour at 5:19. He's at the Mandalay Bay. So all that and more coming up. Your calls to Wes Duncan, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. I'm Alan Stock along with Tim Brooks right here on News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
Rush.
I have never seen what I am witnessing.
For him never to have laid eyes on it.
It's hard to be laughing about. What else are we going to do here?
It's most certainly something you'll want to lay your ears on.
I said it.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Warning, over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This lead-in report is live from the Finley Toyota Traffic Center. We've got 2 new injury collisions on the surface streets, Gillespie at Sunset and Foothill Boulevard at Torrey Pines. Still have a crash taken up the right lane southbound on the 95 at Lake Mead, and expect a slow drive northbound on the 15 from Flamingo to Charleston. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM KXNT Traffic.
Welcome back to the Alan Stock Show. Callers and guests on the KXNT Live line are powered by Best Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic headquarters.
All right, it's 3:48 here at KXNT, or so. Great to have you with us. We broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. It is 3:48. That's what I said. We've got Wes Duncan joining us out here as the candidate for Attorney General of the state of Nevada. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson, our co-host out here as well. Thank you again for having us out here. Let me, quick questions I want to get to. If you want to join in 733-KXNT, 733-5968. If you become Attorney General, the legislative session occurs in around March or thereabouts, March, April, May, and you're end of February, you're going to find yourself confronted with a Democrat legislature, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be that way, who are going to try to institute something called a sanctuary state, which they've got in California. How would you, as Attorney General, address that issue and deal with the Democrats in the legislature who would want to initiate that? And believe me, they would.
Well, the most important point about this topic is that law enforcement has already made their voices very, very clear on this, and they made their voices clear in 2017 that sanctuary state legislation takes away their discretion to be able to do their jobs on the ground. And so as the state's top law enforcement officer, you got to speak with one voice with law enforcement across the state. And so, look, to be in law enforcement in any jurisdiction is very difficult. To continue to take away their discretion, their ability to do their job, to keep the community safe, is something that I don't think that we can support. And so I've told people I think sanctuary state jurisdictions make everybody less safe, both immigrant and non-immigrant populations. And so law enforcement has been very clear that that's not something that they want in our state.
Let's talk about another controversial issue, and that is the issue of marijuana. In the state of Nevada, people voted on it to make it a medicinal issue, and people voted on it also to make it a recreational issue, by the way. And yet, on a federal basis, it is still considered a felony. They haven't changed their minds on that at all. As Attorney General, how would you address the marijuana issue in Nevada? While it's still a federal crime, how would you address it here?
Well, the first thing that you need to know is that the Department of Taxation is your legal client as the Attorney General. And so you represent your legal client and you represent the state of Nevada. And so the voters passed that law. Of course, you still have a conflict with federal law, and that's still out there. And so, as the AG, you have to cooperatively work with your state agencies.
Would you, as the AG, actively solicit the federal government to reconsider classifying it as a Class 1 drug, which puts it in the same category as heroin and everything else?
Well, so that issue, the Controlled Substance Act, is what governs all of the federal crimes, and they set up the scheduling in the state. And so I've been very clear that policy issue, the only body in the United States that can handle and deal with that issue is Congress. Congress is the one that can act and determine what that is. And so that's left to policymakers. As a state attorney general, you enforce the state law that's in place.
I understand that, and you would be a state officer, not a federal officer. If I was attorney general of the state, and I'm not running for it, but I don't have to worry about it. But if I was attorney general, I would actively be heading back to D.C. to talk to the legislators back there, saying, okay, enough is enough already. The majority of states, 31 so far, I believe, have legalized it for medicinal purposes, more and more legalizing for recreational. And by the way, just to let you know, Wes Duncan, I voted against legalizing it for recreational purposes. However, the people have spoken, and we've got an issue now to be able to have law enforcement effectively deal with this. But in terms of the federal government, I think it's time that they woke up and smell the roses.
Well, there's many bills that are afoot. Colorado, Senator Gardner out there, and other states that have legalized have put forth bills, and I know that that's an issue that Congress is dealing with and tackling with. It's just important to know that that's the body that deals with it.
Real quickly, another important question along those lines: how would you address the illegal drug problem in Nevada?
Well, look, I think that certainly we've seen a rise in things like methamphetamine, for example. We're seeing a rise in that. And so one of the things that the Attorney General can do, and again, this comes from being on the ground with law enforcement, talking to their priorities and needs. The AG's office can help not only with grant funding, with helping departments actually hire more officers, applying for grants, doing those type of things. I'd be happy to try to use our actual investigators in the office to work on task force, which we do, drug task force. You've got to try to cut out across the I-80 corridor and across the 95, different transport lanes, and do those type of things. So if you start getting at some of the transport lanes, you provide training and do those things, that'll be a big help.
You and I would probably agree that big dealers of big drugs should go to prison forever. Goodbye. That's it. What about people, though, who are users of these drugs? Should we put users of any of these drugs in prison?
Well, look, we need to have a discussion in our state as a policy matter to determine some of these folks are addicted and it's an illness, right? And so we need to find the happy medium in our state to try to treat people in the right way so that we can get them to be productive members of society. Not every single person who uses a drug is like you said, a hardcore dealer.
Exactly.
And so that's the criminal justice system has to balance that tension between those two things. And so people who are putting our communities in peril, we need to deal with those people in a hard way. Other folks need to look at it.
Wes Duncan, the candidate for Attorney General of the state of Nevada, also been endorsed by Joe Lombardo, our local sheriff here in Clark County. I want to thank you for coming out to the Emerald Island Casino, and I know Tim extended his invitation. I appreciate extending the invitation, Tim. And Wes Duncan, thank you for coming out and spending your time with us this afternoon. We certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. I talked too much. Sorry.
No, I'm all ears. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Tim, our listeners appreciate it more than anything.
Absolutely. Wes Duncan, thanks for coming out here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Alan Stock, broadcasting live from the Emerald Island Casino with Tim Brooks right here on News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
More news, the latest traffic, and accurate weather. Just minutes away at the top of the hour on News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
Ready for some good news? Life insurance is more affordable than you think. Ready for some even better news? Your coverage can start today. An eFinancial agent is ready to help you select the right policy from the most trusted life insurance companies. And it's all done over the phone. One call, and you're on the way to the protection your family needs. Call 1-866-244-5580 to get covered today, or get a quote at efinancial.com.
Warning: over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
The all-new Radio.com app is available now. It's a totally new experience that puts listening at your fingertips. We've made it easier than ever to access the radio stations you love. Now we'll save your favorite stations and recommend others to you based on your listening. Get the news and information you rely on even when you aren't near a radio. You can take this station when you're on the go. Download the all-new Radio.com app on your smartphone now and listen anytime or anywhere.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
From the Dustin to Hart Nova Home Loan Studios, KXNT AM North Las Vegas, KMXB HD3 Henderson, News Talk 840 AM, KXNT, a radio.com station.
All right, it's 3:59. We're out here at the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. Tim Brooks, owner, operator, our host out here as well. Coming up in a moment, Joe Lombardo, Clark County Sheriff, here to answer your questions and mine as well. We got tickets to give away to Santana, tickets to give away to this movie called The House with a Clock in the Walls. I have no idea. It's cockamamie. But we'll come on back and talk about all of that and more and get to your calls as well. I'm Alan Stock, and this is News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
Time is running out for getting out.
You put your life at risk by staying.
FEMA emergency money diverted.
He has called the money transfer a scandal.
An executive order on election meddling.
To prevent foreigners from interfering in our political process.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, presented by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Jim Shenevy. It can be a tough sell for storm holdouts, but officials along the Carolina coast are warning residents who have not left already ahead of Hurricane Florence to get out now. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
Florence's storm surge will drown many homes. Expert modeling here at North Carolina Emergency Management shows that storm surge alone is likely to flood tens of thousands of structures.
Florence has lost some wind strength. It is currently a Category 3 hurricane with 120-mile-per-hour sustained winds. FEMA's Jeff Byard.
Hurricane Florence is going to cause major disruptions to government services. It is going to cause disruptions to the power. It will destroy and damage infrastructure and roads, bridges, buildings.
Correspondent Jeff Begnaud is in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
They're talking storm surge here of up to 13 feet. That's higher than some of these houses. And rainfall totals of as high as 40 inches, right? Wrightsville Beach could end up being a bullseye, if you will, for landfall from this hurricane.
Florence is still forecast to make landfall along the North Carolina coast on Friday as a major hurricane. From there, it could travel south along the coast before heading inland. Oregon Senate Democrat Jeff Merkley is accusing the Trump administration of diverting nearly $10 million from the budget of the Federal Emergency Management Agency to ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He says the money was meant for response and recovery to things like Hurricane Florence. CBS's Jeff Pegues.
In their response, a spokesman for the Department of Homeland Security said the funds cut from FEMA were from routine operating expenses and could not have been used for hurricane response. DHS also says that under no circumstances was any disaster relief funding transferred from FEMA to ICE services.
President Trump has signed an executive order aimed at discouraging foreign interference in U.S. elections by authorizing sanctions against any offending nation. National Security Advisor John Bolton.
Anybody that we think is engaged in something that interferes with the elections or is complicit with it could find their assets blocked.
U.S. intelligence suggests several nations could attempt to influence U.S. elections, including Russia, China, and North Korea. On Wall Street, the Dow gained 27 points to 25,998. Now this.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KXNT News Time is 4:03. I'm Fred Halstead. Coming up, we're learning more about that high school shooting from yesterday. And CCSD officials are addressing that shooting and safety in schools. First, though, traffic and weather together. Here's Izzy J.
Live from the Findlay Toyota Traffic Center, this report is sponsored by In-N-Out. Quality you can taste. Seeing an accident eastbound on the Southern Beltway before the 95. Looks like that has been moved off to the right. Another collision at Nellis and Stewart and at Gillespie and Sunset. There's no room for compromise when you're serving a quality meal. And at In-N-Out, from the juicy 100% beef patties to their hand-cut fries and genuine ice cream shakes, you'll see that they stand for quality you can taste. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM KXNT Traffic.
98 Paradise, 99 Sunrise Manor, and 98 Las Vegas. A man is dead after being shot yesterday on the campus of a high school in North Las Vegas.
Authorities were working to determine if the 18-year-old victim was a student at Canyon Springs High School. North Las Vegas police spokesman Eric Levitt said the shooting happened around 2:40 p.m. when fewer than 500 students participating in athletics and after-school activities were still present at the school. Acting Police Chief Justin Roberts says the man was found shot on the edge of the school's baseball field, but he would not release details about how he was shot or number of shots. The man, whose name has not been released by authorities, was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Authorities had not identified a suspect as of Tuesday evening and were interviewing between 40 and 50 students as they worked to determine who shot the man, Levitt said. Isabel Jenkins, KXNT News.
And late word, the man who died Turns out he was a student at that school. CCSD officials holding a briefing this morning on how to keep guns out of our schools and how to keep students safe. Counselors were on campus at Canyon Springs High in North Las Vegas today. A student shot and killed, as you heard from Izzy there. School officials say they're announcing a new advisory board made up of principals, teachers, students, and community leaders to tackle this issue.
It is clear that there is a problem. It is not our problem alone. This is a national problem. And it's not one that we in the schools can solve by ourselves.
That was CCSD Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara. He's a Republican candidate for Nevada Attorney General's seat. He was on the Alan Stock Show this afternoon talking about what he feels is the number one issue in the state of Nevada. I'm speaking of Wes Duncan.
Number one issue in the state, mental health.
Really?
Bar none. Every sheriff, every chief of police, even district attorneys across the state say that we need to get a hold of this deficit in mental health resources, because essentially our law enforcement now is acting not only as social workers, but they're mental health providers, and they're keeping you safe out on the streets.
KXNT News Time is 4:06. More with Alan Stock straight ahead. I'm Fred Halstead, KXNT News.
Live from the entertainment capital of the world, it's Southern Nevada's voice of common sense.
I got gas in the tank. I got money in the bank. I got news for you, baby. You're looking at the man.
This is the Alan Stock Show on KXNT.
All right, it's 4:06 as we broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. What's the matter with you? You don't like the shirt?
No, I love the shirt.
Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, our co-host out here. Thank you so much for having us out here. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you out here, Alan. You and your crew that make the pilgrimage east every month out here to downtown Henderson.
We have a great time. That's yours. It's okay. You don't have to steal it. It's yours. So we've got the Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us here. I'm going to get to him in just a moment. First, I want to remind you that coming up at 4:32, we have a movie, a four-pack of tickets to give away to The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
You don't have to buy a clock, Alan.
No idea.
It's amazing.
Anyway, it's going to be September 18th at the Regal Red Rock. We're giving tickets away to that at 4:30. I don't know what it is.
What the heck?
I have no idea what it is at all. And as long as we pronounce it correct, we can stay on the air.
As long as that's all that's in the wall.
Just don't let Chef Fleming read that.
No.
He's coming up next hour. Also coming up at 5:19, we've got tickets to Santana. He's going to be at the Mandalay Bay House of Blues for the 9:22 show. That's coming up in just a little bit. So stick with us.
There's like a disclaimer on his on his chapstick.
So we've got the sheriff out here destroying things. Real quickly, give us the specials real quick.
It's barbecue night at the Emerald Island Grill from our old championship Old Hickory Smoker. So barbecue baby back ribs, smoked baby back ribs, beef brisket, pulled pork, chicken, hot links, all together $9.99. The world champion special.
Emerald Island Grill.
Emerald Island Grill, and wash it down with a delicious frosty cold domestic or imported or premium draft, I should say.
For $1.
For $1, yeah.
There you go. Not bad at all.
Value menu.
Joining us right out here at the makeshift studio, she's not standing so I can say it,
yes,
is Sheriff Joe Lombardo. And Sheriff, thank you so much for coming out here. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Alan. Long time no talk, I guess.
Good to have you here this afternoon. A lot to talk about. If you want to join it in, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. I had a lot to get to, but I'm going to start up with this first. Yesterday we had a student from North Las Vegas killed in a shooting outside of the school. Today I think it was the 5th student who has come to school with a loaded gun. It was a 9mm, I believe, today. And I know that Metro is not in charge of the schools and like that, but listen, as the sheriff of Clark County, it's got to frustrate you, because it frustrates me, and I'm not even the sheriff, I'm not even a cop, and it frustrates me that we have so many kids so brazenly bringing guns to school this year. We keep arresting them, and more keep coming out of the woodwork. Your thoughts, Sheriff?
Well, that's a pretty wide open subject.
I know.
Presented me with. Yeah, it's absolutely frustrating, just like it is to you. And I understand. I actually saw one of the students that attend that school from yesterday being interviewed, and he expressed his frustration on the air. And I put myself in his shoes, and I felt his pain. And then but with that being said, we're doing everything we can to assist the school district police in their endeavors to conduct investigations and identify kids that are in possession of guns and doing everything we can to repossess them. So what is the result of it? Why is there all of a sudden such an increase? And it may be because of the proliferation of the different events occurring across the United States. Other kids in school see it. They're in fear of their own safety. They bring them because of that fear. They don't want to be a victim of any particular crime, and that may be the cause. But in this particular case yesterday, the kid was a student there, but he was only a student for a week. He had come from another school for unknown reasons, and he encountered an individual out in the ball field at the perimeter of the school. So it didn't actually happen in the school, and the school wasn't part and parcel to exactly what took place. So that investigation is ongoing, but I'm not in fear of there being other students harmed in this event.
You know, and I get it that we have 5 students that we've now found with loaded firearms 3 weeks into a school year here. I don't know how many that we, by the way, we have gotten away without being caught. I have no idea what that number is. But I'm again bring this up. I'm driving in today to come to Emerald Island Casino, and I'm listening to the fact that we had the shooting yesterday, the kid's dead. We had another kid bringing guns today to school, and I just don't know how to be able to address this. I'm not a law enforcement official, but boy, am I a frustrated citizen.
You know, one of the things that goes along with it, and quite often we find out the guns are taken from the parents unknown to the parents. You know, and then we talk about responsibility of gun ownership. You have to secure the weapon so kids don't have access to them and prevent them from doing it. And, you know, in a couple interviews, and I alluded to it earlier, that there was a couple kids that fear of what might occur because of a bullying event or something to that effect, and they bring the gun for self-protection. But it's weird that we come to that extreme versus I'll meet you out on the playground and we'll go to fisticuffs.
If kids do secure it from their parents, are the parents liable for this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They are?
They are, absolutely.
So, in other words, if you've got a gun, you're a parent, lock it up.
Juvenile. Yes.
All right, lock it up, absolutely. And by the way, I understand what you're saying about bullies. I remember bullies when I was a kid, but nobody brought any kind of weapon with their kids who duked it out after school. They absolutely, I'm not defending that either, but I'm saying they duked it out. They didn't bring guns or knives or any other kind of weapons with them.
Well, they also didn't have the typical gang lifestyle that we experience in today's age. You know, the gangs are a lot more violent, and the level of violence that they bring forward, and they attend the schools, and you know, we do the best we can to identify them and weed them out because they're probably committing crime at some point, and then we do what we can to protect our kids, but we also require, you know, parental control and parental oversight, and we do what we can to assist the school district police.
A lot I want to talk about this afternoon. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. I want to get into Marcy's Law, which I know you become a proponent of. I want to talk about the homicide rates that, in fact, are up here and around the country. And a lot more to get to. You brought up gangs, certainly something to talk about here in Clark County. We're at the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, and our co-host out here, welcoming us out here each month as he does. We've got Sheriff Joe Lombardo out here, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Much more with the Sheriff and your calls coming up next on News Talk 840 AM KXNT.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks unless it involves shape-shifting and interdimensional travel.
Animals can shape-shift.
Coast to Coast AM. Every night, starting at 10 on News Talk 840 AM. KXNT.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Warning,
Over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the Power Buying Process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Ready for some good news? Life insurance is more affordable than you think. Ready for some even better news? Your coverage can start today. An eFinancial agent is ready to help you select the right policy from the most trusted life insurance companies. And it's all done over the phone. One call, and you're on the way to the protection your family needs. Call 1-866-244-5580 to get covered today, or get a quote at efinancial.com.
KXNT Traffic.
Live from the Finley Toyota Traffic Center, this report is sponsored by Red Rock Resort. Southbound on the 95, we have that crash before Lake Mead off to the right shoulder. Another south of Jones taking up the right lanes. Injury wreck at Charleston and Decatur. Another on the southern beltway as you're heading east just before the 95. Get your tickets now for Toby Keith, Friday, October 26th at the Sandbar Pool at Red Rock Resort for his Should Have Been a Cowboy Tour 25. Toby Keith with special guest Ned Ledoux at Red Rock Resort. Get tickets at any Station Casinos Reward Center. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM KXNT Traffic.
Bringing you the latest news and events, but what you think about it all is up to you.
We've all got a right to our opinions.
Alan Stock on KXNT.
A great game rocks in the hot sun. I fought the law.
Of course, naturally. Yeah. 4:18 here at KXNT, and good afternoon. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon as we broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. I used to like Cops all the time, and then we started watching this show Live PD.
Love it.
On A&E, where it's going on right now. It's so cool. It really is very, very cool. I don't have to worry about that with Sheriff Joe Lombardo, though. He lives it all the time. Joining us out here at the Emerald Island Casino, the Jewel of Henderson. Thanks so much for coming out here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it very, very much. Got a lot to get into. You want to join in 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, our host out here, as he is every month, and my co-host on air, as it were. Again, thanks for having us out here.
Man, I'm just loving it here today, I'll tell you that. Great show.
We had Wes Duncan on the first hour. We got Sheriff Joe Lombardo this hour. Let's go to the phones, starting out with Stacy. Stacy, you're on KXNT with Sheriff Joe Lombardo. Welcome to the show, Stacy.
Yeah, hey, how are you, hon, Alan? It's me again, and
thank you.
The Sheriff Lombardo. Thanks for everything you do. Real quick, this is what I did real quick with the homicide at the Canyon Springs. Automatically, we got a talk, tattle, tale for all of our listeners. Get on that social media, which I obviously have. I got a hold of the sergeant, his wife. She's excellent. Get past that operator, the first point of contact, 311. because she's going to try not to let you speak to the sergeant in charge for just the police. So eventually I was able to get to, it's the homicide detective, she's the sergeant. I was able to start, because she's live on scene at that point, right, at the killing. Right away, started spelling out those names, started giving her every connection right away, so at least they can start getting the live videos of what happened, because of course that's their biggest step. But the number one step is talk, tattle, tale. So again, talk, tattle, tale, get past that 311 or 911 or whatever it is, that operator, and get straight to the crime scene investigators, to the sergeant, and they'll take the call, guys. They will take the call. You just got to know what to say and how to say it. They want to know who it is. They want to work with us as a public.
All right, Stacy, so I appreciate your call. I want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I appreciate it. By the way, I had the chance last Thursday. I called 911 for the first time in a long time. You can tell me I shouldn't have done that, but I called 911. I'm driving on the overpass on DI, the arterial that's going over the freeway. And as I'm driving in the fast lane, going eastbound on the arterial, there's all of a sudden cars stop in the fast. I'm going, what the hell's going on? So I quick pulled around to the second in the fast lane. There's a guy walking on the overpass in the arterial going eastbound. So I called 911 right away. I said, this is crazy. It could have caused car accidents, 1, 2. This guy could have been hit. And then they started asking me, was the guy on drugs? I had no idea. I didn't stop and look. You know, so I mean, that kind of stuff is crazy.
What do you mean I tell you not to call 911?
Well, I mean, some people say call 311 instead of 911.
Yeah, if it's information only, but that's absolutely appropriate to call 911 in that situation.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to cause a major accident or he may be killed, and you don't know the situation, so.
All right, well, we agree. There you go. I tell you.
It's very rare, Alan.
Hey, I voted for you, please. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Marcy's Law, Crime Victims' Rights Amendment. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, I totally support Marcy's Law. It's an appropriate thing to do for victims of crime, and they have the right to know exactly what's going on with the people that have been accused of committing a crime against them. It actually surprised me when I was approached with the Marcy Law's folks, in supporting this, and I said, isn't this law already? It actually surprised me that it wasn't law, and that's why I chose to absolutely get on board, and I think it's an appropriate thing.
Wes Duncan was with us last hour, and I mentioned the fact that in California, they overwhelmingly voted for Marcy's Law. Every newspaper, by the way, came out against voting for it, except for one, but they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, fake news. But the truth is that the people in California overwhelmingly voted to support Marcy's Law. Something we've got to do here in November.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got my fingers crossed, but I don't anticipate we're going to have much opposition to it.
Well, I certainly hope not. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. The homicide rate is up.
Yes,
it's here, nationally, everywhere. So it's almost a gimme question, but what's Metro doing to address this kind of an issue?
Well, that's a great question. It's not a gimme either. So there's this book, and it's called Ghetto Side. And the author's last name is Lavoie, and it's basically a documentary about the homicide situation in Los Angeles. And the author is a media reporter, news reporter, and they did an expose on the substantial number of homicides occurring in L.A., and the inability or the ineffectiveness of the law enforcement officers to do investigations associated with it. In other words, it was one bad guy killing another bad guy. And, there was a perception out there that, it was just getting two people off the street for the price of one, basically. But what happens in that situation, if everybody doesn't matter, like any other citizen, you create an environment where the crooks say, hey, the cops aren't going to investigate it, and subsequently we're going to continue to do what we do. So the most important piece on that is to have a very robust, quick, comprehensive investigation and put somebody in handcuffs associated with that homicide. I'm very proud of my homicide detail here LVMPD because we have a solvability rate of 86%.
Wow.
That is the highest in the United States, okay, of major police departments. If you look at Chicago, I believe Chicago is right around 6% today. So if a crook out there is intending to commit harm to somebody, particularly a homicide, and they know nothing's going to happen as a result of their actions, what do you think occurs?
What's the difference then between the LVMPD and the Chicago police to have such a disparity in numbers like that?
Well, I don't know if it's a per se depolicing associated with the relationship with the community. The important piece is that you have to have a robust relationship with the community. You have to have a level of trust with the community where the community will help you in these endeavors. And I'm very proud of the relationship we have with our community partners and the ability to assist us in investigations and to prevent further homicides from occurring as a result of a homicide. In other words, retaliation homicides.
Good. You brought that word of retaliation. Good. I'm glad you did, because I think one of the issues connected with trying to solve a crime like this, like murder, when it goes out there, a lot of the people in the community feel that they will be retaliated against by gang members if they rat.
Right. Exactly. And I'm not speaking of ratting or snitching or anything to that effect. What I'm saying is general information. Yeah, this victim or tends to hang out at this location. He hangs with this particular gang. Just general information that would be beneficial to the investigators. I seen them having an argument with an individual last week. Nothing that would put them in a position of harm or be considered the snitch jacket or the rat jacket. Because it's very difficult to cross that bridge, and it's very difficult to break that culture. What we're saying is the community helps us prevent it in the future.
That is a tough thing to do, to be able to overcome something like that when people do fear for their lives.
And so if you back it up internally to the police department, your investigators have to feel the pain. They have to have that ownership to the community, and they have to want to solve the crime. They want to do the best they can to solve that crime, and in turn that results in keeping the crime rate manageable. And I'm proud to say we're down 7% year to date in violent crime, and the homicide issue is an issue that's up compared to all the other violent crimes. And the predominant factors associated with those are, one is domestic violence. We've seen a significant increase in domestic violence, homicide, which is troublesome, and gang activity associated with homicide. And within that gang activity, you're looking at narcotics sales. And then the third factor has been robbery, homicide associated with robbery.
Well, you brought up three issues I want to address. We've only got a half hour to do it in. One is the drunk driving issue, big time.
I didn't bring that up. You did.
You brought up drunk driving. I think you brought drunk driving. Well, I want to bring that up. I want to talk about also I want to talk about gangs. You brought that up.
Yeah, okay. I brought that up.
Thank you. And also I'm going to talk about the upcoming issue of pot lounges. They're right around the corner. We've got to talk about that as well. And all that and more going on. I'd love to get to your calls, and I'll try to get to them at 733-KXNT, 733-5968. But I will get my questions asked first because I think they're very, very important and it'll illustrate what's going on in the world today. Broadcasting live at the Emerald Island Casino with Tim Brooks and all the good folks out here. Joe Lombardo, the sheriff of Clark County, joining us out here is our special guest. Your calls and more coming up next on KXNT.
There are good jams
This is my jam,
and bad jams.
So, where are we going for our anniversary?
Our anniversary? At least you can avoid being stuck in a traffic jam. Your commute on News Talk 840 AM, KXNT.
Dean Heller broke his promise to Nevada.
I'm telling you right now, I cannot support a piece of legislation that takes insurance away from tens of millions of Americans and hundreds of thousands of Nevadans.
Ben Heller caved to Donald Trump and voted to take away Nevadans' health care. Paid for by SMP, www.senatemajority.com, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Warning, over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Ready for some good news? Life insurance is more affordable than you think. Ready for some even better news? Your coverage can start today. An eFinancial agent is ready to help you select the right policy from the most trusted life insurance companies. And it's all done over the phone. One call, and you're on the way to the protection your family needs. Call 1-866-244-5580 to get covered today, or get a quote at efinancial.com.
KXNT News Time is 4:30. I'm Fred Halstead. Coming up, it appears to be another $1 million seller. And the Cat 4 is now a Cat 3 storm, but still powerful. First, though, traffic and weather together. Here's Izzy J.
Live from the Findlay Toyota Traffic Center, this report is sponsored by LinkedIn. Right lanes are blocked southbound on the 95 just south of Jones. We have a crash there. Injury wreck at Charleston and Decatur. Also at Blue Diamond and Rainbow. And if you're heading west on the Southern Beltway before the 15, watch for an accident in the left shoulder. LinkedIn Jobs intelligently targets candidates, ensuring your job is matched to the right people. For $50 off your first job post, visit linkedin.com/traffic. That's linkedin.com/traffic. Terms and conditions apply. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM, KXNT Traffic.
98s are wild right now, North Las Vegas, Nellis, and Las Vegas. Taking the wraps off the Trump White House is proving popular among the reading public. CBS News correspondent Pam Coulter explains.
Fear is spreading. Bob Woodward's new book about a dysfunctional White House and an incompetent president has sold more than 750,000 copies in under 2 days. It appears destined to be another million seller like Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury, which was also a critical look at the Trump White House. The pace of sales for Woodward's book, including print, ebooks, and audio, is among the fastest in memory for nonfiction. Over a decade ago, President Clinton's memoir, My Life, sold more than 1 million copies in 8 days. Pam Coulter, CBS News.
Sustained winds, record rainfall, and extreme storm surge along the coast of the Carolinas. That's what's in store with Hurricane Florence. CBS News correspondent Jeff Glore talked to residents in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
We found Ronald Batts gassing up, then planning to stay put. The 81-year-old barber closed his shop and is planning to hunker down at home with his disabled 77-year-old wife.
I feel just as safe at home I would at a shelter.
And just in the path of where Florence is expected to make landfall. So you got the names of all the hurricanes here. Bertha.
Well, since 93.
Fran, Bonnie, Hannah. How much does this one scare you compared to the other ones?
Well, we've had so many, I mean, I'm not scared.
You're not?
No.
Gordon Reddick, also a hurricane veteran, believes he can wait out yet another storm.
And McDonald's employees in 10 cities will stage a one-day walkout on the 18th to pressure the company into targeting on-the-job sexual harassment. This would be the first such strike in the wake of the #MeToo movement to target a specific company. KXNT News Time is 4:33. Download the radio.com app. Listen to KXNT anytime, anywhere. More with Alan Stock straight ahead. I'm Fred Halstead, KXNT News.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
It's party time. Alan Stock on KXNT.
you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you?
4:34 here at KXNT. I want to thank you so much for joining us. We broadcast live at the Emerald Island Casino. Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us out here. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, and our co-host out here, again, welcoming us this month as he does every month, and we certainly do appreciate it. Before we do anything at all, gentlemen, let's give away a 4-pack of tickets to the advanced screening of The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Seriously. It's for Tuesday, September 18th at the Regal Red Rock. Okay. 4-pack of tickets to the advanced screening of The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Call number 5 at 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Seriously, 733-KXNT, 733-5968.
Never done caller 5. It's amazing.
You know, because, I mean, it's like warlocks and stuff. Okay, anyway.
Russ Michaels was in for you this week.
Yeah.
And he was doing caller 3.
Oh, by the way, Russ, thank you very much for sitting for me. I certainly do appreciate it. And I was off the last 2 days for Rosh Hashanah. Be off next Wednesday for Yom Kippur. And then back to the whole swing of things.
Just please don't do like caller 28 or something for Santana later.
Santana coming up, by the way, at 5:19 this afternoon. You don't want to miss out on that. Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us out here. I want to get to your calls to the sheriff in just a moment. First of all, I've seen your officers on TV talking about this, and it's got to be frustrating to you as it is to me for a lot of reasons. Drunk driving rates up in this community. Unfortunately, deaths up as well. We had a little boy and a couple of people killed in the last week. A little 8-year-old boy killed. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. Sheriff?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I did an interview this morning reference the same subject matter. And, and you could hear the passion and the concern in the captain that's head of the traffic bureau and also the fatal detail that responds to those scenes. It's very frustrating. Because it isn't a fault of equipment, it isn't a fault of inattention. It's a deliberate act because the individual is intoxicated and it could have easily been prevented. Now the individual's life is completely changed. Not only the victim, but the person that got arrested and even the family members on both sides of the fence. So it's a deplorable crime. You hear about homicides quite often, but a fatal accident, especially one associated with intoxication, is just as tragic.
An 8-year-old boy was slaughtered.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
Usually there's, unattended victims, they have no defense, especially in a situation like that. So.
I'm not going to even get into the case. For a lot of reasons I'm not, but it's absolutely revolting. Let me get to the phone. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Rebecca, you're on KXNT. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a question for Sheriff Lombardo.
Yes.
Where does he stand as far as gun control?
What was that? Say again?
Where does Sheriff Lombardo stand on gun control?
He wants to give guns to first graders. What do you think? Thanks for your call this afternoon. I appreciate that. Get rid of her. All right, you want to respond to that?
I mean, that's a pretty wide open question. There's about 1,000 different nuances associated with gun control. The only thing that I do push back with on gun control is I do support an increase in background checks. And I've been vocal about that, and I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do that.
But question 1 that came out was flawed because it insisted that we use the FBI as a background check conduit, and the FBI wouldn't do it. So that's not the fault of question 1. That was poorly written.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right in that connotation. And I personally identified some of those issues when the bill was drafted, and the people that carried the bill went ahead and brought it forward.
And I agree with you, by the way. I have no issue with background checks at all. We don't want people who are have mental issues, or people who are domestic violence abusers, or people who are past felons. These people should not be able to just walk in and buy a gun. I'm 100% with you on that, by the way. Right. We've just got to make sure that the background checks are, you ready for this one? Within the letter of the law. You understand that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Let's take one quick moment to congratulate Mark Dixon, because Mark Dixon has won tickets to The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Congratulations to you, Mark Dixon. Hope you enjoy it. We've got more tickets to give away tomorrow to the same movie, I guess. Anyway, and also we got tickets in the next hour to give away to Santana at 5:19. Congratulations to you, Mark Dixon. Let me ask you about, let me get to the gangs first. I'll get to the pod issue later on. Gangs, real quickly. You brought up the issue of gangs, by the way, and a lot of gang issues here. How are we addressing the gang violence issue and the proliferation of gangs here in the Valley? A lot of people are concerned also because with the raiders coming to town, they are concerned. I've had a lot of people say to me it's going to bring an element that we don't want here.
Well, I'll address the second question first. I don't agree with you in that assessment with the Raiders. I think any massive sporting event's going to have some percentage of element that you don't want there. But I personally went out to the Raiders to observe their operations in the police profile or the security profile with the game, and I've heard all the folklore and the rumors about the Raider fans and everything else. And yeah, they're very ostentatious, but I didn't see them create any havoc or commit fights or anything else that you would anticipate that you hear the stories about. So I think that story has changed over time, and the Raiders are proud of that they have changed that culture, and I'm really not worried about it. I think I'm looking for success associated with that. Now, when we talk about the gangs, that's a whole different environment. And I've said this, Alan, and we'll talk about this in conjunction with the homicide rate, is I've said this publicly, and it bears truth in the data that we have obtained. I said the prison reform and the different laws passed in California to make it easier to commit crime, declassifying 6 different felonies to misdemeanors, depopulation of the prison system. A lot of our violent crime is directly associated with suspects from the California environment. Either they've been identified as California gangbangers or they've been identified as California felons. And so here locally, 40%, it was 42, now it's about 40% of all violent crime associated with the victim and or suspect has a California nexus. So we realize that, and we're having to deal with that. And so we work with our California partners, LAPD and LASD, robustly to have that joint task force type environment when we do gang investigations. You had heard me mention before with the MS-13 that we had partnership with Fresno because we identified tentacles going in that direction with that MS-13 case. But the gangs aren't going away, and they're getting bigger because that depop of the prison system is bringing the OGs out, the old-time gangsters, and they're rearing their heads now, and now the gangs are starting to proliferate again.
From California. So let me ask you.
Well, even here locally, I'm not going to put it all on California, but it's interesting enough that 40% is a big number.
So let me ask you this. California recently also instituted something that I would venture to say is going to be tried to be instituted this coming legislative session in 2019, and that is the idea of this no bail, no having to pay any bail to be able to get out of crimes for quote-unquote low-level or non-violent crimes, because it's not fair to the people who can't afford it, and everything else, or the people who can't afford it can go ahead and pay for it. Your thoughts on this no-dollar bail situation?
Well, I'll put it this way. What's the incentive not to do it then? And what's the incentive? I mean, the whole intent for bail is to ensure that you come back to court and that you attend court, because we give you the opportunity to get out of jail to take care of business for that. So let's start it from the beginning. Just don't commit the crime.
Well, the no bail initiative passed in California, but not here, did it?
It hasn't even been presented here.
Right. So. That's exactly what I thought.
And then, but it probably will be presented in the next legislative session. But come on, we're talking about people that have committed a crime. Let's back up. Don't commit the crime.
Wow.
And you don't have to even question the bail issue.
Wow, that's a radical idea.
So
no, I mean, that's not supposed to say, but that's absolutely true. I mean, people keep talking about inequities and arrests for people of certain populations and everything like that. Hey, you don't like it? Don't commit the crime, and you're not going to get busted. Bottom line.
Right.
733 KXNT 733-5966. No, I mean, it's a no-brainer, but, people don't quite get that common sense logic. Tim Brooks, owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, our host out here, Coast. I appreciate you having us out here. Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us out here. We come on back, we're going to talk about the possible implications of these pot lounges that, I'm telling you, will be legalized also here in no time at all, and how's Metro going to address the people who are coming out of these pot lounges, which and I know, are stoned. They didn't go in there just to get a little toke. They get there and get stoned. We'll come on back and talk about that and more coming up next on KXNT.
The Allen Stock Show is brought to you by Bite of Las Vegas, this Saturday at Desert Breeze Park. For tickets, visit KXNT.com.
You've heard of Trump haters protesting with pink P-word hats, but you won't believe what a Las Vegas professor whipped out to show his anger. A couple just wanted to save money when they booked an Airbnb for their trip to Canada. What they found would send anybody into therapy. I'm Michael Kastner. We'll talk about it starting at 6 tomorrow morning on Wake Up Las Vegas.
Opa! The 46th annual Las Vegas Greek Food Festival runs September 14th through the 16th and will feature delicious, authentic Greek cuisine, Greek pastries, live music and dancing, rides and games for the kids, and so much more. A family-oriented fun event with all the magic of Greece just miles from home. It's the 46th annual Las Vegas Greek Food Festival, Friday, September 14th through Sunday, September 16th at St. John the Baptist Greek Orthodox Church, 5300 El Camino Road on Hacienda between Jones and Rainbow. For more information, call 702-221-8245 or go to LasVegasGreekFestival.com.
Warning, over 75% of Americans are dangerously deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and you're probably one of them. Omega-3s are vital for heart health, brain function, and keeping joints flexible. But the top-selling fish oils simply do not contain enough omega-3s to deliver therapeutic results. Enter Omax 3 Ultra Pure, the only game-changing omega-3 supplement on the market that is 94% pure with a patented formula developed by Yale-affiliated scientists. With Omax 3, you get a dose of omega-3 3 times greater than the leading fish oils to help soothe achy joints and muscles, reduce your risk of heart disease, and improve memory. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply of Omax Ultra Pure at tryomax.com. That's TRYOMAX.com. Try it risk-free thanks to Omax 3's 60-day money-back guarantee. Start feeling the benefits now. Claim your free box of Omax 3 at tryomax.com. That's tryomax.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever spent a night on organic cotton sheets? If you have, you've probably never slept better. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch. We make the softest, most comfortable, 100% organic cotton sheets you will ever sleep on. You can't buy our sheets in store, only on our website. Because we only sell them online at bollandbranch.com, our sheets cost less than half of designer brands and are twice the quality. You won't believe how comfortable 100% organic cotton sheets can feel until you try Boll & Branch. Hundreds of thousands of Americans love Boll & Branch sheets, including 3 U.S. presidents. Don't just take my word for it. Sleep on our sheets risk-free for a month. If they're not the most comfortable you've ever slept on, you can send them back for a refund. Plus, if you order right now, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com. Promo code LINENS. Spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code LINENS. bollandbranch.com. Promo code LINENS.
O'Reilly. Need auto parts but can't get to a store right now? Head to O'ReillyAuto.com. Buy your parts online and pick them up in any of the 5,000 O'Reilly Auto Parts stores nationwide. No shipping cost, easy returns, and convenient pickup on your schedule. Shop your way at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ready for some good news? Life insurance is more affordable than you think. Ready for some even better news? Your coverage can start today. An eFinancial agent is ready to help you select the right policy from the most trusted life insurance companies. And it's all done over the phone. One call, and you're on the way to the protection your family needs. Call 1-866-244-5580 to get covered today, or get a quote at efinancial.com.
KXNT Traffic.
This lead-in report is live from the Findlay Toyota Traffic Center. Heading south on the 95, there is a crash just south of Jones. It has the right lanes blocked, but it is in the clearing stages now. Westbound on the Southern Beltway before the 15, crash off to the left shoulder, and a few injury collisions to watch for: Charleston at Decatur and Blue Diamond at Rainbow. I'm Izzy J, News Talk 840 AM, KXNT Traffic.
Welcome back to the Alan Stock Show. Callers and guests on the KXNT Live line are powered by Best Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic headquarters.
All right, and good afternoon. Great to have you with us. This is broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino. Back to Tim Brooks and, of course, Joe Lombardo and much more, including your calls next on KXNT. I want to take a moment to tell you about Renewal by Andersen of Las Vegas, the full-service replacement window division of Andersen. Now, that's the most trusted name and family window and door brands in America, proudly made in the USA. If your home is more than 10 years old, are your windows and your patio doors difficult to open and close? Are you certain that your rooms in your home are keeping all the hot out or the cold out that you want to keep kept out? Well, here's the deal. At Renewal by Andersen, there's no pressure. During your free window inspection, we'll give you an exact down-to-the-penny price that's good for an entire year. Over 115 years of window expertise. We're the full-service replacement window division of Andersen. That's the window and door brand that your dad told you to trust. No middleman to deal with, by the way. No runaround between the installer and the manufacturer, because we handle it all, from custom building to installing to warranting all of our products. And we don't sell you vinyl either. We replaced thousands of poor quality vinyl window and patio doors, so we made our windows Fibrex composite material 2 times more durable than vinyl. Here's the deal. Call Renewal by Andersen today. The better way to a better window. Save 20% on windows, 20% on patio doors, 20% on installation as well, and get no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 full year on approved credit. Call them now. That's the better way to a better window. Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen. Give them a call. 777-0321. 777-0321. Renewal by Andersen. Great, great, great people with a great product. 4:50 here at KXNT, and a good afternoon. Great to have you with us as we broadcast live from the Emerald Island Casino. Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us out here. Tim Brooks, the owner-operator of the Emerald Island Casino, our host out here. Boy, I got to get to so much, but I want to real quickly take a call from my friend Sandy Heverly, Stop USI. She is a Stop DUI. What did I say?
USI.
Stop USI. Stop DUI. Whatever. You get the idea. Sandy's with us right now on the KXNT Live line. Hey, Sandy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. I hope you're well as also.
We are doing fabulous out here. Thanks so much for calling in this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to thank you, Alan, again for allowing the attention to be given to this very, very violent crime. And Sheriff Lombardo, I want you to know how much our organization, Stop UI, appreciates you and your department for the support that you give us in this particular area. And I wanted to say, we love your department, but we are especially appreciative and love your traffic division. They are awesome.
Well, Sandy, you don't have to thank me all the time. We know that you appreciate us, and we appreciate you more. I mean, we wouldn't get the attention that's needed for this type of crime without your effort.
Absolutely the case. Sandy, always thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you with us, and I will talk to you soon.
Take good care, guys. Be safe.
And it's
Thank you very much.
DUI.
Stop DUI. Stop DUI. Let me ask you this. Soon, I am sure that pot lounges will be open and legal in Las Vegas and other parts of the county. And you and I have talked about this a lot before, but it's becoming more serious. How have you thought about going about handling these soon-to-be upcoming pot lounges? Will you have additional police patrols outside of these lounges? Again, I ask this because for this reason. You go into a bar, you have a drink, that's one thing. You have a wine with a meal, that's one thing. People don't go to pot lounges to have a little toke. People go into pot lounges to get stoned. People use pot to get loaded. Let's be honest. When they walk out of that place, they're stoned. How do you deal with that?
Well, Alan, it's just a bigger part of the problem that Sandy is part of. It's driving under the influence. It's the proverbial argument that we have all the time. That's what is the intent of a bar? Is it the bar to get intoxicated? So the pot lounges to get intoxicated. So
they are.
So we have to address that in law enforcement at face value. We can't really target. We don't have the resources to sit outside of a lounge and anticipate somebody. We have the ability just to pull people over for that type of crime because we have to, We have to address all the other crimes that we deal with. For example, my jurisdiction deals with right around 46,000 property crimes a year and right around 9,000 violent crimes a year. So that's part of the equation that we have to deal with. One of the things I think is fantastic is this ability for people to access transportation when they know they're intoxicated now. I think that's had a direct effect on DUI numbers. And when I refer to that is the easy access to the cab systems, the easy access to Uber, Lyft, all those things that assist in that transportation. I was sitting there talking to Tim Brooks. He says he lets his customers use their points for Uber and Lyft to assist them get home if they're intoxicated. Those are all the things that would have to be part of the solution. We're going to do enforcement as needed with individuals exiting these lounges and making a stupid decision to get in a car and drive. And hopefully we'll be there at the time it occurs, and we'll take enforcement action.
Because you and I both know, just talking person to person, you and I both know, if you go into a pot lounge, you are going there to get stoned. That's the only reason people use pot. And when they come out, you and I both know that they're stoned, which means that they should not be behind a wheel.
Absolutely.
And you could say that about alcohol bars, but again, that depends on how much alcohol you've had. But with weed, there's no question. You are going in to get stoned so you can come on out again. And that concerns me, that these people will be out there getting behind a wheel.
And I hope they don't, their judgment is clouded, not too clouded where they can't make a reasonable decision to use other forms of transportation.
Believe me, I hope you are right, from your lips to God's ears. Quick question from Mike. We've got very little time. Mike, you're on with Sheriff Joe Lombardo.
Hi, Sheriff Lombardo. How are you? Mike Turber.
Hey, Mike.
Got a question. Yeah, how are you?
Good.
I got a quick question for you. Back early on in the investigation, there was an incident involving the leaked images, and you had promised that there would be an investigation and that you would let us know what that outcome was. So two-part question. Basically that part there. What has come of that?
To answer your question, frankly, nothing. We did a pretty comprehensive investigation. We tried to run that to ground, and we were never able to determine who the source of the leak was.
Okay, and the second part of the question is a lot of the rumors about that incident involved Levi Hancock and his former relation with the Boston Reporter. Is there any indication from your end that Levi Hancock was the most likely suspect, or is that still part of your earlier answer?
No, he was not, and I'm comfortable saying that. We are aware of that allegation, and a review of a comprehensive, complete investigation was done with Levi Hancock, and he was absolutely not the person that perpetrated that crime.
Sheriff Joe Lombardo, thank you for taking time to come out here. We appreciate it. It's always great having you out here, facing the questions and everything else. We thank you very much for joining us, and continue to make the county safe as possible.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it.
Sheriff Joe Lombardo joining us out here at the Emerald Island Casino with Tim Brooks. All the great folks out here. I'm Alan Stock.
The world may move pretty fast, but we're faster. The latest news and information is just minutes away at the top of the hour.
All right, can you hear me, guys? I think that's the end of it, but I'm going to let it play here for another minute. Mike got through. How about that? That was pretty awesome. Would love to hear what question he gave them to get through, because I'm guessing it wasn't the questions he asked. Thank goodness, Mike, you called in, because if it wasn't for that, I don't think we would have heard anything about the shooting at all, which is kind of dumbfounding, right? Got right in when you called? Oh, they didn't screen you at all, Mike? Mr. Burgundy, my chat's like really far behind, guys, so I'm probably responding to stuff that's old, but Mr. Burgundy, Mike Turber got in, identified himself, and asked us a couple questions. I think you were the last question. I think that's the end, Mike, but I still got it playing here in the background. I'm listening. I'll turn it back up if they come back on and Lombardo's still there. Mike ran him off, Danny Diesel says. Well, I think it was only, yeah. Or maybe Lombardo was only scheduled till 5 p.m. He's like, oh crap, they're asking the real questions. We gotta go. I gotta make my screen bigger so I can kind of follow along with the chat live here, because my other window, it's really far behind. There we go. 5x5 News asked, hey, did you record that? Yeah, the stream will be up. This will be posted on the stream. Or this will be posted in the video. The stream is recording, so it'll go up on the video. Because of the mode I'm using, there's like the DVR mode I don't think is working, so you can't skip back in time. I don't think I'm going to do that again. I like to be able to have that enabled, but so Mike's question was, he asked Sheriff Lombardo if about the investigation about the leaked photos. So if you remember, I think there were 3 originally leaked photos, right, from the crime scene that got leaked out to Builder. I think that's what it's called, or Bidler News, Builder maybe. And then it was published out to all the different news agencies. And Lombardo said that there was gonna be an investigation into what caused that, and then we never heard back from him. So Mike asked whatever happened with that, and basically Joe Lombardo said it was inconclusive, I believe, is what he said. And then I think Mike asked a follow-up question in regards to Levi, but I was kind of bouncing around. I didn't hear all that. So maybe if Mike can say what he said. Alan's asking if there's anything interesting in the newest body cam videos. To be honest, Alan, I really haven't had a chance. I browse through them really quickly, typically before I post them. I didn't see anything, and then I was busy uploading to YouTube, and then busy uploading to 10/1/2017.com, and then the live stream started. So I really haven't had a chance to get through them. I didn't see an earlier Bellagio video, and I think there might be at least one from inside Mandalay Bay. There's like one from inside of one of the theaters. And then there's also one I noticed was from inside of, I believe, the Luxor. Those are just the ones I remember off the top of my head. Five by five. You can only see your comments now. Try refreshing refreshing the page, or if you're on a mobile device, just close out and go back in. I mean, like Lombardo saying, "Oh yeah, that was inconclusive," right? Like, I mean, even you, Mike. Like, does anybody really expect him to be like, "Oh yeah, we're on that. Like, we're gonna figure that out. Like, or we know who it was and we'll reveal it." No, of course not. Like he did exactly what I would expect him to do, which is to say, no, we never figured that out. Because why? Why? Well, because, I mean, we can speculate why, but it's just exactly what he's done the entire way through, which is he does nothing to not make it look like a cover-up. It just looks like he's trying to hide it. And that's just yet one more example, right? I mean, they had how many people with body cams in there? They had how many crime scene investigators working the scene? But the cops aren't going to turn other cops in, probably to, at least not to Lombardo, because, I think many of them don't respect him. Yeah, there's no way, Las Vegas Shooting Archive says there's no way they don't know who leaked those photos, yeah. I mean, in their defense, they probably never got access to the original versions of those photos, right? So it's not like they could look at the EXIF data or anything. For You United States asks, was Mike with Laura Loomer when she was shut down all the rest of the press conferences too? Oh, when she shut down all the rest of the press conferences too. I think Mike was there. Mike can answer that. Five by Five News says, I was able to pull the pixel count off the images. That's how I know it was Levi. How does that make it Levi? Like, what about the pixel count? Do you have other photos from Levi and you matched them up, or how does that work? Oh, Mike says he was in town when Laura Loomer got banned, but not at the press conference. I mean, if you look at it from the LVMPD's perspective, and also the casinos, they just want this thing to go away, right? So even if they figured it out, like, it's not like they're guided by principle or anything, and they're just going to come out and say, oh, we figured that out, even though nobody's asking about it, because it's just going to raise it back into the public awareness, you know what I mean? And I don't think they want that. Vegas is it's like a turn your mind off and have fun type place, right? Not like think and worry. That's what New York City's for. Okay, I think the broadcast is over. I'm going to stop it here. You talked to Levi Hancock directly? Wow. I mean, did he? Yeah. He's probably not going to just admit it, right? Eddie Schmidt says, who would like to see a video of inside of Paddock's home? Would that be interesting or a waste of our time? It seems like everybody wants to see those videos, Eddie. I'm going to turn slow mode off, guys, if I can figure it out. Boom. The leaked photos were released on purpose by the department. I mean, yeah. Like if you were to consider like, okay, if we want to control the narrative from the very beginning, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to do something to get ahead of that, right? So if they wanted to steer it in a particular direction, then they could leak those photos on purpose. And that basically seeds in people's minds very, very early on what happened. But at the same time, if somebody wanted to make a buck and they took some crime scene photos, that would probably be a good way to do it. So it's not really conclusive either way. Maybe the FBI leaked photos. I think they took over the venue, part of the investigation. Elvis has left the building, but I don't think they took control of the Mandalay Bay, but I could be wrong about that. I mean, we obviously see FBI agents in the room after, right? Because there was like helicopter footage and photography taken of the room, and you could see FBI agents inside. So maybe they did assume control, I'm not sure. Yeah, Brian Askew says, leak the photos and make people think it was a lone gunman. I mean, if that's what they wanted to do, like if that was their intention, then that would be a way to do it. But then we have to go back and look at the body cam footage. Like, you know, what's the next thing? If it wasn't just Paddock, then did they also stage the body cam footage, or were the SWAT guys somehow involved in the cover-up, and so they waited to do the breach until they knew whoever was in there was done with the work that they were doing? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I mean, I guess I'm trying to think what's the minimum number of people you'd need to be in on it. Well, Levi Hancock for one. He stays around the Mandalay Bay, so when it starts, he can be first on scene and kind of control what happens. Maybe only him. Or maybe like And I don't know if somebody was calling the shots. We don't have scanner audio from the SWAT that I'm aware of, even though they did use the fire department scanner for a bit, and I think Las Vegas Shooting Archive maybe sourced that. I haven't listened to it though. Yeah, just a little advertisement. My understanding is that since two of the three people here I'm going to speak of are on in channel, it sounds like a good time to talk about it. My understanding is that Mr. Burgundy is going to be hosting a somewhat of a debate between Mike /5x5 News and Paladin. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys. And I believe it's taking place on Friday. If that is the case and it's being hosted on Mr. Burgundy's channel, I'd be happy to rebroadcast it on my channel if you would allow that, Mr. Burgundy. I'd probably just turn chat off and then just rebroadcast the thing and probably just direct people to go there if they want to chat. It's not set on Friday yet. Okay. Why doesn't Mike have to prove stuff? That is honestly the most ridiculous statement I have seen in a while, says KL. What does he need to prove? Unfortunately, the two gentlemen are on opposite coasts. Well, I can identify with that. But if you do it like at 6, then it's 6 Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Something like that might work, depending on people's schedules. My phone is freaking out. It keeps thinking I'm saying, "Hey Siri," which is strange. No, Siri. No. Bad AI. There we go. KL's asking where's the proof you spoke to Levi? I didn't. Mr. Burgundy says, anyone else see Hoover making the burqa and the mirror suggestion again? I didn't see that, but he does like to rehash old things, that's for sure. And I did see a video where he was like, maybe we should take a look into this helicopter theory again. I was like, this helicopter theory? Do you mean your helicopter theory? Like, take a little ownership, man, because Alan says, KL, why does he need to show you proof of a conversation? Have you ever known Mike to lie? That's a good point. I mean, I don't, yeah. I think just like everything in this community, take things with a grain of salt, wait for proof, wait for evidence, I should say. Proof is hard to come by, right? The more evidence of something, the more believable it becomes. I mean, I can say, you know, I can say I went, you know, I have video of Paddock's home, but until I post it, you may or may not believe that. But if somebody in the community were to post that, then you'll probably believe that they went there. or that they had somebody else go there, or they, sourced it somehow. Let me just thank everybody real quick for paying attention and abiding by the rules. I think this is one of the best. There's been things here and there, but I think for the most part, everybody's been pretty cordial in chat. So I do appreciate that. We went from having slow mode on 60 seconds, down to 30 seconds, down to 15 seconds, back up to 30 seconds. Slow mode's off right now. I did give one person a timeout, 5-minute timeout, because they kept posting testing like every 3 minutes. That for those people that have been here for the full 2 hours, or oh my gosh, it's almost 2.5 hours. Probably need to end this pretty soon, but those people might remember that person that I'm speaking of. Yeah, Truth Seeker says a personal text picture can be created, so that wouldn't be actually be proof. Yeah, it'd be evidence. Proof, I set the bar pretty high for proof. I've said this before, but my bar for proof is this. I would stake my life on it. And if I wouldn't stake my life, that's like, would I stake my life on 2 + 2 = 5? Yeah, probably. But, I set a very high bar. Some people have a very, 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 very low bar. It's like, oh, one shred of evidence sounds like proof to me, and then they just publish it out and like tagline, video title says proof of X. You know what I mean? Even Jake Morphonios used to do that every once in a while, and I respected a lot of his work, but then he would say like proof of 2 shooters, you know what I mean, in one of his videos. I'm like, oh man, that word just gets thrown around way too much. Yeah, reasonable doubt. Yeah, that's what you can do, right? Even the FBI probably won't be able to. Maybe they will, but won't be able to give us a 100% answer of Paddock's motive. But they might be able to say this is the most likely motive given all the options, or they might even be able to rank them and say, hey, we think the most likely motive was this combined with this, and then possibly this got involved somehow. Unless there's some evidence that comes forth, that maybe Paddock did, if he wrote a letter or something like that explaining what he was going to do prior, and they can validate that somehow. Maybe he emailed himself about it. Why is it that, with so much chat and the internet just devolves, it devolves down to, name calling? I don't know. I want to know why that is. Why is it that in chat that happens, but generally, human face-to-face interaction, it's the opposite, right? You start out kind of hey, I don't really know you. You start out with really generalized statements hey, how's the weather? And then you really start to get into, you start to build a relationship. But on the internet, it devolves down to, third grade level stuff. And I'm not saying that's true for anybody here, but I'm just, something I've noticed. I think it's interesting, and Maybe someday we'll. No, well, Mr. Burgundy says, Weg, you've seen me in person. Would you talk crap to me? Well, jokingly, yes, of course, but you know. Yeah, that's the difference is that the internet removes. Really, I think what it removes is responsibility. I sometimes I wax philosophical when I go along on these streams. I've noticed that, but I think that it removes responsibility because in a real life human to human interaction, you're responsible for what you say most of the time because you can see that person. You can feel the effect that you have on that person because they're another human. But when you're just online and the person's just a name on a screen, it's like you have no responsibility. Like that's just, and I think some people like sociopaths are this way in real life too. But I think generally most humans, like once you see people face to face, but even that might not be true because I've never shown my face. I have given my voice, but people are generally pretty kind to me. I get slack here and there, but I see your question, Ali M. I think Mike can just read that question. I don't think I need to ask him. MF says, Weg, you're only a robot. Yeah, maybe that's true. You know who is a robot? Elon Musk. I say that jokingly. Elon definitely a robot. Yeah, man, he's definitely not standard human material. That's for certain. I think everybody can agree upon that. The guy is just lives in a different realm than the rest of us. Yeah, Sleep Dap asks if there's anybody in the hurricane area. Hopefully, nobody that's still in the mandatory evacuation areas. We may never hear from them again. Do you ever get mad, Weg? Diane A asks. Oh yeah, I get mad, but I'm very selective. I get mad strategically. I learned that actually in business, running teams and stuff like that. If you're mad all the time, people are just like, oh, that's the mad guy. And then when you really are passionate, really want something and you get mad, nobody cares. It's like the boy who cried wolf. But if you are around people and you're good, you're nice all the time. And then when something's really important, you get mad, people listen. It's actually a good strategy to have. The problem is many people, they don't have control over their emotions like that. Their emotions run them instead of them running their emotions, and they can't use it as a strategic opportunity because they just don't have the control over it. It's really interesting if you're going into like a negotiation type situation, that you can actually use like emotion, like happiness and sadness, anger, things like that to improve your odds of negotiation. But you've got to be strategic about it. It's kind of like the good cop, bad cop philosophy, right? It's an example of how it can kind of be used in negotiation. Weg is a big sissy. Just because you've never seen me mad or in a fight, Mr. Burgundy. You might have seen me mad. I've gotten mad a couple times in this community, but never on stream. LVSA knows. All right, guys, it's 5:30. I think now's a good time, a good round number to close down the stream. So thank you again for everybody, joining. I'm really sorry that there was really Mike's question. I mean, the whole thing could have just been Mike's question, and that would have been the gist of it. But do appreciate everybody. Obviously we have other things to talk about within the community. There's just so much to speak about in this investigation. So thank you for your time, joining along, being respectful and kind of being chill, and really do appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll talk again soon. Everybody make sure to check out Mr. Burgundy's channel for when Mike Turber and Paladin do the debate. So keep an eye out for the appointment for that. I know I'll be watching that if I'm not committed to something else already. But yeah. Thank you guys. Great questions. Thanks for trying out the poll and all that jazz and dealing with all the technical issues that we had in the kind of the early part of it. All right. Have a good night. Take care.